going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new movie review. Today I'm discussing Happy Death Day to You. If you guys are new here, consider hitting that like and subscribe button where I do tons of early movie reviews, talk any sort of geeky content, and plus you guys can also check out Samurai Films down below for any ways of getting into advanced movie screens like Happy Death Day to You. Happy Death Day, when it had come out, that was a big surprise for me. I went to the theater not really expecting anything, and I came out blown away with how much fun that film was. I'm a fan of the slasher genre. I like that genre a lot, and I thought Happy Death Day was one of the better ones overall, and I thought the reason that film worked so well wasn't just because of the clever idea of ripping off Groundhog Day, but it was because of Jessica Ralph's performance in there. She is excellent. She is one of my favorite up-and-coming actresses, and I want to see her do more. And again, she made Happy Death Day what it was. She was the best part about that film. Now we have a sequel to Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day 2 You is here, and somehow Tree finds herself living into a different reality this time. There's a lot of sci-fi genre stuff in here, and I don't want to get too much into spoilers and what goes on and what you find out of why she keeps reliving her life. But I found myself having a lot of fun with this film. I would say the amount of fun in this film is on par with the original Happy Death Day. But what I can say too, and I will say this, if you're expecting more of the slasher horror genre, kind of take that expectations away and throw them out the door. Because this film flips it on its side and changes, just like where Tree is and why she keeps reliving this. It flips it and takes into a different genre again. This is more of a sci-fi film that does have some small horror slasher elements to it, but it is definitely more of a comedy, taking on the meta-ness that the first one had, but tackling it a little bit more and emphasizing, yeah, we know what kind of film we are, but we're going to play around with more of these ideas again. The ideas of her dying. What other ideas can you do with it in this one? And a lot of them in here, there's a whole montage of them, of where she just keeps dying, and I found myself dying of laughter, no pun intended, and I had a blast with it. Again, that is what this film is for. It is to have a fun time. If you have a fun time with the first Happy Death Day, you're going to have the same amount of fun with it. The reason, again, that I really like the first Happy Death Day is because of the characters, and you kind of fall in love more with the characters this time around. Yeah, the first one had some charming elements to it, but this one has more of a heartfelt story and kind of develops Tree as more of a character than we knew her in before. And even though the first one had a really good character arc for her, this one expands at her character arc more, and I love that. And hear me out on saying this. Now, this might be controversial, but I guarantee 10 years from now, maybe even 20, Jessica Ralph's going to be a star. Guaranteed. But I think she'll be a star like Jamie Lee Curtis. And I say that because I really think that the performance and the way that she portrays Tree into this film will make Happy Death Day not just a classic horror film down the road, but I think it'll make a classic horror franchise, because they're already talking about doing a third one. And hear me out, I'm all on board for this stuff. I am all on board for a third Happy Death Day, especially if Jessica Ralph returns, because I think she'll be the next Laurie Strode. I think she is one of the most iconic characters in the making right now, and I love what Tree is doing. I love Jessica Ralph's performance as Tree, and really everyone around her is also entertaining. I like their charming dynamics with one another, and again, this film plays off that meta-ness. It plays off the same fun dynamics that the first one had, but tackles it even more. Some people won't like that there's a lot more comedy in here. Maybe some people won't like that there's not a lot of horror slasher elements to it. For me, it didn't bother me all too much. I really, within the first 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, they're not going the horror route this time. They're going a little bit different. The direction's pretty solid, the pacing throughout it, and there are actually some really cool shots within this film. Two cons or nitpicks that I can really address for this film is that sometimes it gets a little bit too convoluted with the way that it's trying to push why this is happening to Tree and explore these elements. It kind of took me off for a loop, and I was like, okay, the first one had me. I didn't really think you need to explore anymore. I would have rather just maybe a different kind of story, but it didn't bother me too much. But sometimes when it tries to go into those elements, it got a little bit convoluted and made me think too much when I shouldn't be thinking too much in this film. And there still is one element of the film that I'm super confused by. It happens very early on, and I was just like, oh, okay then. The other thing I can say for sure is that the film is predictable. This time around, I found the way to figure out who is the killer this time way too predictable. Honestly, I guessed it way too early on, and like the first one, it took me a while to finally get to it, and when it happened, I was like, oh, that's the killer. And it really took me for a shock, but this one I was like, oh, okay, yep, that's the killer. though the film can feel a little bit predictable with the horror elements, and even though sometimes it gets a little bit too convoluted trying to explore and expand this idea, Happy Death Day 2U is a worthy successor to the original Happy Death Day. It's a fun time at the films. Don't expect too much horror elements. I went in expecting that, but I actually came out with a surprise of more of a sci-fi film that tackles more of the meta-ness that the first one had. Great comedy bits in here, great direction, good pacing throughout it, and I cannot wait, and hopefully we do get a third Happy Death Day 2U. This is great. Jessica Rothe is great. Take all my money. I'm all for it. So with all that said, I'm going to give Happy Death Day 2U a B. Oh, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Happy Death Day 2U. Do you guys like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let's talk about it down below in the comments, guys. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Also, make sure to let me know what you guys think of the first Happy Death Day. Did you think it was stupid or did you love it like me? Let's talk about it. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. I appreciate each and every view that you guys watch these. Hit that like and subscribe button. Check out Sound Machine Films, and I'll make sure to see you guys soon. So, stay classy.